Welcome to my dear students. Today we are going to be learning this concept thread priority. So in the last class we have learned about this one thread ends by using this isAlive method as well as join method. isAlive method returns true if your thread is still running. Okay, join method is waiting for, commonly used to wait for a thread to finish. Okay, if it is a finish, it is waiting for to finish. So what is the method we are using for what is the purpose of join method? It is used to finish the thread. Okay, isAlive method is to check whether the thread is still running or not. So this program has given, this is very important question. Now we are moving to the thread priority. In Java, each thread is assigned a priority which affects the order in which it is scheduled for running. So then what do you mean by priority? As you know, preference, right? If n threads are executing at the same time, then we have to make a coordination of the thread. So also we have to give the priority of a thread. So if you don't give the priority of a thread, as we have learned in your operating system, the drawbacks, right? Inappropriate audio video, right? Why? All the threads enter at the same time. Okay, the thread of the same priority are given equal treatment by the Java schedulers, and therefore they share the processor and the first come first serve basis. So every thread is having the same priority and it is treated as the same by the Java schedulers or CPU schedulers. Okay, so schedulers, therefore they share the processor on first come first serve basis. Okay, first in first out. Java permit us to set the priority of a thread using the set priority method as follows. You can also set the priority of a thread by using some of the built-in methods. Here one of a method is given, that is a set method. So here the syntax you are seeing, thread name dot set priority, thread name dot set priority followed by integer number. So here the number plays a prominent role. Please observe this very carefully. Okay, thread name, the object of a thread dot set priority. You are setting the priority and integer number. Here the integer number is an integer value to which the thread's priority is set. So you are setting the priority of your thread. Okay, now the thread class defines several priority constants. Let us see. If it is a minimum priority, min underscore priority, you have to suppose to give this built-in keyword. For this it will be taken as 1. Norm priority, it is taken as 5, norm underscore priority, and max underscore priority, it is assigned as 10. Okay, so thread name dot set priority, thread name dot set priority int number. So if I give the 1, it is minimum priority, 5 normal priority, 10 maximum priority. Okay, the int number may assume one of these constant or any value between 1 and 10. The default setting is norm priority. If you have not given any number, then default every thread is having normal priority. Most user level process should use norm priority plus or minus 1. So most of the threads, most of the process should use normal priority either plus or minus. If it is a plus means maximum priority, if it is minus means minimum priority. Okay, so that is based upon the norm priority either plus or minus. Background tasks such as network input output and screen repainting should use a value very near to the lower limit. So these thread, as we know, these are the lightweight process. This lightweight process will be run in the background, such as the network input output and screen repainting. Screen repainting means screen refreshing. As you have learned this concept in your computer graphics, right? So every time every pixel is refreshing, that is why it is giving a good resolution on in your screen, right? Repainting means displaying. Okay, should a value near to the lower, whatever the value you are specifying, it should be a lower limit. Program to show how priority affects the order in which the threads are executed. So to understand this concept very carefully, so this question is asked, please give a more attention, and we will see this thread priority sample example. Now let us see what is the name of a class. Class A extends thread, means it is inheriting the thread concept, right? Here I am writing the public void run method. I am starting the thread A and I am using for loop for int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus, and I'm displaying the value. Okay, so here the run method ends and here the class A ends, and you are starting the class B extends thread, class B extends thread. Now you are writing the same logic, public void run, and here you are starting the thread B and you are using the same for loop, but you are taking the counter variable as J. Okay, and it will be executed for 4 times. Okay, 1 2 3 4, yes, 4 times. And one more class you are writing, class C extends thread, public void run system.out.println. You are starting the thread C, and here the same logic you are using for the counter variable as treated as an k is equal to 1, k less than or equal to 4, and if the condition is true, this will be executed. Right, here the class C ends and you are writing one more class. What is the name of the class? Thread priority. In this thread priority, it consists of a main method. In the main method, you are creating the object of class A and the object of class B and the object of class C. So here A, thread A is equal to new A. What is the name of the object for class A? Thread A. What is the object of class B? Thread B. What is the object of class C? Thread C. Okay. Now please observe here, thread C. So this is the object dot set priority. I am setting the priority. What is the priority I am setting? Thread dot max priority. So for which thread for which class I am setting the maximum priority? Class C. So first class C should be executed. Okay. Next thread B dot set priority. You are setting the priority to the thread B. So that is thread A dot get priority plus 1. Please observe here, whatever the thread A we have not set it, whatever the property you are setting, this is also one of a built-in method, get priority. It is accessing that thread's priority plus 1. Okay, here min priority as set for thread A, we are setting set priority as min priority. So min priority value is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So automatically thread B consists of normal priority, thread A consists of minimal priority, and thread C consists of maximum priority. So in this, C starts first, next B, and next A. Okay, so to start that, you are starting the thread. Okay, we are displaying output statement. You are starting the thread A dot start, but it won't start, right, because it consists of a min priority. And you are starting the thread B, you are starting the thread B dot start, class B void run method will execute, and thread you are starting the thread C dot start, and your class C will execute, right? So whenever you try to execute, here it consists of a thread B started first, hence it is started first, later it continues for C. Why? Because we are starting the first thread as B. Okay, and whenever you start the B, whenever you start the A also, it is having minimum priority, hence it is not executed, and your B will be executed because of non-priority. Once the C is enter into the schedulers, let the C will be finished. Okay, so to practically know this, let me execute this program. Let me copy this program, copy notepad, I'm testing, I'm coming here, copying, notepad, pasting, and next here I'm copying. Okay, so I'm maximizing. So wherever the mistakes are exist, we should be replaced, right? Okay, let me replace this. Edit, replace with double quotation. That's all. Got it? Okay, now replace this, copy, closing bracket with this, replace all. Is replaced, right? Yes, it has been replaced. Let me save first. So while saving, we have to go to file, new, cancel. What is the name of the file we have to supposed to save? We have to save it with, here is the main method. What is the name of our main method? It consists of thread priority. So let me copy, because it consists of a main method, right? Yes. File, save, and choose your drive. C drive. In C drive, confirm it JDK 1.4 bin and save with thread priority dot java. Save it. Okay. Now let me take your run prompt, your cmd, and press alt enter. Hope it is visible in right. Now log out, cd jdk 1.4/bin, login into our directory, compiling java c thread priority.java. So this much of a error is exist, right? So please observe, these are the spaces problem, line number 25, line number 38, right? Okay, let me go here. Let me check whether go to is work. No. Okay, let me close it. Let me minimize it, and whether I have installed Notepad++. Let me install Notepad++. Okay, Notepad++. Download. It is Anka. Okay, let me take already version is available. Let me download it. It is downloading. I'm opening. Yes. Okay. Next. I agree. Yes. Finish. Right. Let me open. What is the name of a file? Should be open. I have in JDK 1.4 bin. It is a thread priority. Thread priority.java. Okay. Yes. Now it is visible. It is not visible, right? Edit. Tools. Language. Encoding. View. Whether now it is visible, right? So let me save it first. Save as thread priority dot java bin folder. Yes. Okay. Let me come here. Let me compile once again by clearing the screen. Java c thread priority dot java. So let me go first. 25 line. Right. Where is the 25th line? This is the 25th line. Here it is showing because of mistakes. Is right. Okay, let me save it. And where is the next line? This content 25th is okay. 38. Okay, alt enter, come to the 38. So here it is showing space. Here also showing space. Now fine. Yes, 38 has done. And where is the next error? Where is the next error? 51, 55, 58. Okay, 51. So here it is, the gap is exist. Okay, 51, 58. Now save it. Once again come here and compile it. Let me check. 52, 54 is an error, right? 52 and 54. Where is the 52? This is okay. Okay, 52. Here one gap is there, right? Now finish. Save it and come here, compile it. Still two errors. What is that? Let me check. Two errors in 54. 54. Yes, okay. Now save it. and come here and compile it now. Yes, now what happened? Cannot find the symbols. Please observe here why it is not finding the symbols, because we have not imported the package, right? So while you are writing the Java programs, it is always better to import packages. Import java.lang.star, import java.io.star. Okay, let me save it. Come once again, compile once again. So here thread B, thread A, what is that? Variable cannot find symbol. Thread A dot start. It is having gap. Okay, where it is? Here, right? Now let me check here. Yes, I'm saving, coming here and compiling. Happened variable thread C cannot find. Thread THREAD cannot find symbol. 51, 53 and 55. 51, 51 thread. Okay, please observe here. Okay, here small, here capital, so that is the mistake, right? Make it as a small t and small t. Yes, now save it and come here editor, compile it. Now thread B dot, I cannot find a symbol. Thread A dot start, thread B, thread C. Let me check. Thread THREAD A, thread B, thread C. This is A, thread A, thread C, thread B, thread A. Here thread dot start, B dot start, thread C dot start. It has been given, right? So it is a string cannot find a simple method start. Why run method is not there? Okay, here it is capital, right? Let us make it as a small. That's it. Don't use capital. If you use the capital, these problems are exist. Okay, let me save and come here and compile. Okay, now there is no error, right? Now run your program. So if you observe here, first it has started A, first it has come here and end of the main, thread C started, and before thread C A is started, A is started, right? So it is, even you have set the priority, before setting that priority it is giving different output. If you run once again, it will give another output. Okay, compile, run. BAC, right? So it is acting according to the whatever the priority you set. Based on that it is executing. Okay, don't expect the same output. It will come according to the started thread. Okay, so which thread we have started, it consists of a minimum priority. Even though if it consists of minimum priority, we have to supposed to do that. Okay, let me modify this program with values. Let me set the value as minimum priority value is 1, here 5. I can directly set, right? Instead of this I'm doing 5, and here I'm setting 10. Let me check what it will happens. So I'm saving, I'm compiling once again. After compiling I'm running, right? So even if you're given that same number, we have to check which thread started first? A. Which thread started next? B. And which thread started C? Third is C, right? Meanwhile, it consists of a gap. Within that gap, the thread is entering. Okay, it is according to your processor capacity. It is according to your processor capacity. Clear? Yes. So don't expect the same output whichever we have provided here, right? Okay. And next, our concept is synchronization. Okay. So when we using multiple thread, it is sometimes necessary to coordinate the activities of 2 or more. Whenever we are working with multiple threads, we have to make the threads should coordinate with each other, otherwise output may be varying. The process by which this is achieved is called synchronization. The coordination of thread is possible by the concept of synchronization. The most common reason for synchronization is when 2 or more threads need access to a shared resource that can be used by only one thread at a time. So as we have learned this concept in your operating system, whenever a thread requires to execute, it needs the resource utilized by the another thread, right? So shareable resources. For example, when thread is writing to a file, the second thread must be prevented from doing so at the same time. So whenever a thread is writing, no thread has to be supposed to write. If 2 thread starts to write, then what happens? Mismatch of data happens, right? Another reason for synchronization is when one thread is waiting for an event that is caused by another thread. And another reason is also for the synchronization is when one thread is waiting for a event to occur, no other thread has to be in waiting state. Okay, got it? So this we have learned in your operating system. Just review your operating system concept. Now in this case, there must be some means by which the first thread is held in a suspended state until the event has occurred. So that is the same thing. Whenever the first thread is waiting for some events to occur, no thread has to be in waiting mode and they have to be resumed. When the waiting thread has started, the other thread must be in waiting. Okay. So key to synchronization in Java is the concept of monitor, which control access to an object. Then what is the main success of this synchronization is concept of monitoring, watching. Monitoring means watching. So it watches who is entering, which process is entering and which process is not entering. Okay. A monitor works by implementing the concept of lock. This monitor is also implemented by the concept of lock. Okay. So that lock is nothing but a start and stop. Start and stop. Start means it is continuing, stop means it is waiting. When an object is locked by one thread, no other thread can give access to the object. When an object is locked by one of the thread, then no other thread to be access that object. Okay. When the thread exits, the object is unlocked and is available for use of another thread. Whenever that thread exit of usage of that object, and it will release. Unlock that locked object can be released by the thread. That resource can be utilized by any other thread by using the concept of lock. Okay. Synchronization is supported by the keyword synchronized. Here the synchronized is a keyword. Okay. So this concept can be supported by using the keyword synchronized and a few well-defined methods that all objects have. So this question is also very important and asked in previous question paper, so you are not supposed to neglect any concept. Let us see using synchronized method. You can synchronize access to a method by modifying it with synchronized keyword. Yes, you can synchronize access to a method by modifying it with the synchronized keyword. So we can able to access by using synchronized keyword. When that method is called, the calling thread enters the object monitor, which then locks the object. Whenever these methods is called, the calling thread enters the object monitor. So which thread requires that object, then that thread is monitoring that object and locks that object. If it is a locks means that the thread makes the usage of that object. While locked, no other thread can enter the methods or enter any other synchronized methods defined by the object class. Okay, while locked, no other thread can enter the method, okay, or enter any other synchronized method, or any thread should not be entered into any other synchronized method defined by the objects class. When the thread returns from the method, the monitor unlocks the object. Whenever the thread process has finished, it returns from the method. After returning from the method, the monitor unlocks. After the monitor unlocks the object, allowing it to be to the next thread. So next thread will be make the utilization of that lock. Okay, thus synchronization is achieved with virtually no programming effort on your part. So your synchronization is achieved virtually, logically. Okay, no programming effort on your part. We do not have any programming effort on our part. So to understanding this concept, let us see this sample program. Let us see what is the name of the class. What is the name of the class? Call me. Here we are using one method, void call string message. You are using void call string message. You are displaying output statement, that message, whatever the parameter you are supplying, you are displaying that message, and you are writing try catch block. In the try block, you are making the thread to sleep for 1 millisecond. Okay, thread dot sleep method. What is the purpose of thread dot sleep? You are making to wait of a thread for a 1 millisecond. So if any error happens, it will goes to the catch block. It will goes to the catch block. Okay, any errors occurs, it will be interrupted. Afterwards, you are displaying the output as closing bracket. Okay, so this is you have written in your call method, and your class is also call me class is hence here. Okay, now you are writing one more class. What is the name of a class? Class caller. So it implements runnable, means you are converting this class into a thread. Got it? Okay, class caller implements runnable. Now you are defining the variable string message. Which variable you have declared? Message as string variable. And call me target. What is call me? Class. For this class you have declared the object, you have not created, instantiated. Okay, this means you are instantiating the object for a class. Okay, now thread class object. Here also you are instantiating thread class object. You are declaring the thread object, not created. Okay, now I am using public caller. So caller means if you are creating the method by using the same name class, you are creating the method by using the same name of the class, then it is called as this constructor, right? Public caller call me. What is call me? Call me is the object. So you are supplying the parameter object as a parameter. So class object. For class object you are supplying the parameter object as parameter, passing object as parameter and string s. This s is for your string. Okay, your target you are creating now. Whatever the target, you are referring this class object. This thread will refer this class object. Okay, this thread will refer this class object because you are supplying the object as parameter, right? Next, in the message you are storing s. Okay, now you are creating the thread t, right? Here the thread t is there, right? Okay, sorry, your target, right? The target is the actually this class object declaration. We are pointing that object, and here you are creating the thread t is equal to new thread of this. You are creating this class object. You are creating the object of this class. Okay, that thread t, right? T dot start. Whenever you call the start method, it will execute run method. So it automatically comes here. It automatically comes here. Public void run method is there. You are calling target. What is the target? Target is the object of declared for this class, right? Object declared for this class. Dot call. You are calling this message, and whatever the message you are supplying, that will be passed here. Okay, in the message you are having s value, right? Whatever the value you are supplying, it is passed here, and it will go here and it will execute. Okay, so later onwards it comes here class sync. Now we are writing the main method public static void main string args. Here for this class you are creating the object, right? For this call me class you are creating the object. Now caller ob1. What is caller? This class. For this class you are creating the object. While creating the object you are supplying the parameters. Why? Because the constructor is exist. So what parameters you are supplying? You are passing the object, target object you are supplying, comma hello, right? Automatically your target as a target is assigned as a target, and message is assigned as yes, that is hello. Now you are calling this target. If you call this target, it will start call me run method. In this run method, the message whatever you are supplying, what is the message you are supplying? Hello. Okay, hello will be execute and it wait for 1 second. Next, synchronized. Okay, you are creating the object of the second object for call me class, and you are creating the third object of a call me class. Okay, so you are supplying the same target hello synchronized word, hello synchronized word. After entering here hello, afterwards it is entering once again synchronized, afterwards once again it is entering word. Got it? Because these three thread you are started, so this three thread is monitoring, so hence you are getting the output like this. Please observe here hello, afterwards synchronized, afterwards word. Okay, so you are calling this object for 3 times, you are running this object for the 3 times. So actually hello should be evaluate first, afterwards it should be evaluate synchronized, afterwards it should be evaluate word. Okay, after the first hello close, it has to be started with the synchronized open and close, and afterwards word should be open and close. But here you are starting three different threads according to creation. What happened? It doesn't coordinates, hence you are getting improper output. Okay, so afterwards you are writing the try catch block. Here you are identifying object1.t.join. What is the purpose of t.join? You are checking whether the thread is ended or not. Object2.t.join, you are checking whether the thread has ended or not. Object3.t.join, you are checking whether the thread has ended or not. Okay, actually what the output we have to supposed to get within a bracket hello. Okay, afterwards bracket close, afterwards synchronized should be closed, afterwards world should be closed. But it has started first as hello, and next thread has entered, and the next thread is also entered. Got it? So hello is waiting for the other two threads. Got it? So hence it is giving improper output. Okay, so here we are clearly mentioned this is not a synchronized. If it is a synchronized, what is the proper output? Hello first, next is the synchronized, next is word. Good. So let me check. We will see this program execution. Let me take notepad, file, new, paste it. Okay, come here, paste it, copy and paste it. So how to save this file? Sync, right? This is not a synchronization program. Let me copy and file, save. While saving you have to ensure that you are storing in your directory, right? .java. Yes, here I'm coming here and let me clear the screen. Java C, what is the name of the function? Sorry, what is the name of the class? Here sync, right? synch.java. No error, Java synch. So I'm getting like that. Okay, it is an actually improper output because hello is started, but world is also entered, synchronized is also entered, hence it is giving improper output because there is a lack of coordination between these three threads. Okay, suppose if n threads are exist, then it gives improper output. So we have to monitor this program. Hope you are understanding this concept. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.